Howdy y'all, welcome back to my channel. Just going to do a quick flip through of my March Madness journal. So there she is in all of her glory. Need to remember where I am on the screen. I've never made a journal quite like this before, so it was a bit of an experiment. I think it turned out pretty good. So the second to last day was to create a journal apron. And that is what this little doohickey is. So this, normally the journal aprons that I've seen kind of go on the front, but I really want this one to cover up the spine. So it's just layered lace, ribbon, kind of all sewn together on top of doilies. I'm not the best seamstress, so it's yeah, it is what it is. And then the journal itself is just a normal chipboard construction. But I've put on some foam packaging here, so it's quite plushy. And I covered that in some fabric, some lace that I dyed pink from tissue paper, and then just this kind of wild loosey-goosey lace trim. I opted not to make a topper for it just because my apron kind of went in the way. But that was one of the final prompts, was to make a topper. And I just opted not to because that's how I roll. So the inside, this is vintage wallpaper. And I thought I was going to do more blues and pinks as I went through the journal, but this is the most blue I think I have. Yes, right into it. So normally with March Madness, I give a prompt to use 8 pages, but because I actually use my journals that I make to actually journal in, I wanted a bit more. So this is not a single signature with 8 pages. It is 3 signatures, and each signature has 4 pages. So it's 12 pages, which would give me 48 front and back. So inside I have one of my floating pockets. So pocket here and a pocket here with one of my fabric tabs I just attached to the front. Bit of lace and bit of lace. One of my journaling cards with a cluster on it. Another cluster I made. And then just a little corner pocket. Here I have just a tiny cluster. Make sure I'm still in the frame. My gorgeous page edges. Oh, I love the page edges. So it's just a collage of different papers on both sides on a bit of cardstock that then kind of folds over the corner. A little scrappy notebook with random papers. I tried to add a little bit of something to every page. So this one's probably the most blank spread out of the entire journal. It just has a bit of fabric that's on top of some cardstock. Another little cluster, some lace trim. This is the center of my first signature. Some of my handmade washi tape. So this is going to be napkin decoupage on top of masking tape. My another one of my fabric page tabs. It's so shabby grungy. I love it. What is it? Grungy chic. Obviously on both sides. More of my handmade washi tape. This one is just a bit of pink watercolor with some stamp and vintage photo on top. Another random cluster. Another random flower. And then that's the first signature done. Then I have my envelope flip out. This has a random cluster on top of it. Inside, I have my specimen slide. And then a faux Polaroid, which I just see has some glue on it. Fantastic. Back in the center we go. My favorite of the clusters that I made. Another cluster here at the top. Cluster fabric tab. I think that's the last of my fabric tabs that I made. This is another floating journal card. So just a few gusseted pockets made of vellum and then some lined paper. This is like a book page tuck spot. So it has 2 opportunities to tuck on both sides. More of my handmade washi, another cluster, a much prettier decorated Polaroid. This is my paperclip dangle I made with just a slightly gessoed playing card just for funs. This was from the book page prompt, so I did an origami fold to make a bow. Another cluster. This playing card is actually the flap for another envelope flip out, which has my floral because I made this in January. It's not like I was going to get any flowers from my garden. So I actually used leaves that I dried from last year out of my garden. So just a little journaling card. My flip out, absolutely nothing, which is perfectly fine. More homemade washi, another cluster. That's my second signature. Another one of my favorite little page edges. I just think they're so fun and they add so much dimension effortlessly. Blank page, which is fine. Another Polaroid, another cluster. This is a trifold tag flip out, cluster, journaling spots, bit of napkin decoupage on the bottom, and that's glued onto the other side with more journaling spots. More handmade washi, interactive belly band, so this slides up and down with come on. Oh no. Oh no. You can do it. I believe in you. There we go. With a big old journaling card tucked underneath. I might put that somewhere else in my journal so it doesn't get stuck again. Blank page, perfectly fine. Some Edith Holden page as a flip out. Blank page, love it. A random flower I've just tucked in with my banner paper clip. And that paper clip was holding in the full March Madness calendar as hosted on our Facebook group, Obsessed and Distressed Junk Journals. And then a writing board, Edith Holden on one side, and then a master board with some pretty flowers on the other side. So that, now that I've taken out all of my embellishments, is my March Madness 2026, what year are we in? Junk journal. And it was so much fun to make. I couldn't stop once I started. And genuinely, I got all of this ephemera and exciting bits completed and made in just a handful of days. So it was a really fun project to spend just cozied up in the wintertime, enjoying creating and making, and just, I don't know, being surrounded by beautiful papers. What more could you ask for? So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a brilliant day. Goodbye.